programs that they use. And I want to read you a thread from Jeremy Young. Jeremy Young is a professor, a Dixie State professor, and he's an author at Cambridge University Press. He has read the War College, or I keep saying War College, it's Imperial College information, and you need to hear this, and you need to know what's going on. You can read the Imperial College report yourself. If you text data to 33777, you'll get a link back to my Substack page. And in today's coronavirus update, I've got a link to Jeremy Young's Twitter thread where you can follow through to the Imperial College. You can see the report yourself. You can also see Jeremy Young's summation. Just text data to 33777. The Imperial College team plugged infection and data rates from China, Korea, Italy into epidemic modeling software and ran a simulation. What happens if the United States does absolutely nothing? If we treat COVID-19 just like the seasonal flu and go about our business? Here's what would happen. 80% of Americans would get the disease. 9/10 of them would die. Between 4 and 8% of Americans over the age of 70 would die. 2.2 million Americans would die from the virus itself. But people with severe COVID-19 need to be put on ventilators. 50% of those on ventilators will die. 50% will live. But in an unmitigated epidemic, the need for ventilators would be 30 times the number available in the United States, and nearly 100% of the patients who can't get the ventilators would die. So the actual death toll from the virus is actually 4 million Americans, not 2 million Americans, in the span of 3 months. 8 to 15% of Americans over the age of 70 would die. How many is 4 million people? It's more Americans that have died from anything all at once ever. It's the population of Los Angeles. It's 4 times the number of Americans who died in the Civil War on both sides combined. It's 2/3 as many people as died in the Holocaust. Americans make up 4.4% of the world population. If we extrapolate these numbers to the rest of the world, that gives us 90 million people dying globally from COVID-19 in 3 to 6 months, 15 Holocausts, 1.5 times as many people as died in all of World War II. Now, countries aren't going to sit by and do nothing, so the Imperial College team ran the numbers again. This time they assumed a mitigation strategy. Symptomatic cases in isolation, families of cases quarantined, Americans over 70 socially distance. What happens when we just do that, as opposed to telling everyone to shelter in place and not leave your homes and canceling schools and shutting down restaurants and bars? Well, I will give you those numbers from the simulation when we come back.